What's up, Grognards? It's your friendly neighborhood Sam here, and I'm coming to you from the studio. We have a pack opening today. I'm very excited. We're going to get right to it here in just a moment. But before we do, just a quick shout out to everyone, of course, for supporting the store, coming in, playing games. Things are going great up in Algonquin. We've got things going. In fact, tonight, as you are watching this, if you see it before Friday evening, September 19th, it will be our very first pre-release at Algonquin. We will be doing a Spider-Man pre-release, and we're really looking forward to it. We'll be having all weekend long at all three stores. So that's right. You have 9 opportunities to play in a Spider-Man pre-release across Grognard Games. Now, of course, there's no way you're going to be able to hit all 9 unless you figured out a way to be in 3 places at once. And if you have, please let me know, because I could use the help when it comes to that. But you will have the opportunity to play at multiple pre-releases if you desire. It's $50, and that'll get you a pre-release kit, and you build a deck out of that and have some fun, jam some games. It'll be a lot of fun throughout the whole weekend, getting to know the new Spider-Man set. Of course, I'm sure most of you have already been poring over the cards and know what you're looking for, what you're hoping to find, what you're hoping to build around, and it should be a lot of fun. I am looking forward to cracking open a box here in just a second. We're going to crack open a play booster box to see what we get. All of these cards will be the property of Grognard Games, so you'll be able to purchase these singles in store if you so wish. We will, of course, not be taking in singles right away. It will be a week or two before we do that, as is normal for any new release of a TCG. What else do I want to say? We got lots of events coming up on the calendar. Make sure you're going to grognardgames.com, clicking the events tab up at the top of the page, or if you're on mobile on the drop down. That is the only way to access the event tickets and purchase them and get all of the salient information. If you try to search for an event, unfortunately, due to the website merger that we did a few months ago, we're still experiencing some issues with that. We hope to have that all fixed very, very soon. But in the meantime, the only way that you should be purchasing and looking at event tickets is through the events calendar. If you do it any other way, you're going to probably run into some issues. We do apologize for that inconvenience, but of course, it's the best way to do it. Also, of course, table time reservations in Algonquin. You can do all of that via the website as well. Just go to grognardgames.com, table time. And the big announcement, perhaps, is we're going to be rolling out this system very soon for Grognard Games Roselle. So if you have already used the table time reservation system in Algonquin, then you'll be familiar with how it works. If you've not, you're going to now want to familiarize yourself a little bit with it. Basically, you'll go to the website. You can reserve tables up to 24 hours ahead of time. If it's within 24 hours of that reservation, you can either call the store or, of course, walk in and take your chances to see what tables are available. Table time will follow the same exact policy. It is $5 per table during sort of our downtimes, 10 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then peak time will be $10 per table all other times. Now, of course, that will be the reservation for the whole table. So if you're getting a card table, that'll seat 4 people. If you're getting a miniature table, that'll also seat at least 4 people if you want, but generally you're going to just play Warhammer or something like that. It's the 2 of you, so it's not per person. On days when we are running organized play or events that we already have on our calendar, for instance, Battletech Fridays. Battletech Fridays will be run a little bit differently in terms of the fact that you come in, you pay $5 per head. So if you're coming into the store to play Battletech on Friday, put $5 down on your store credit, you're good to go. Before any tables may be used, you have to check in at the front counter to make sure that the table time has been properly applied and you get credit for your store credit. If you don't do that, you might not get your store credit, and you definitely want that so that you can use it later, whether that's on drinks and snacks or you're saving up for that big purchase. If you have any other questions, of course, all the information will be available via the website, or you can give us a call and we will be happy to explain. We'll also have documentation in the store as well if you want to take a look and read that for yourself. In other news, we've got the Bazaar coming up. As most of you are probably already aware, the Bazaar was initially announced for Grognard Games Roselle. We have moved that to Batavia. Main reason being we just have so much more space over there, and we can take advantage of the new expansion of that store to provide ample room for everyone to bring in all of their wares for the Bazaar. Should be a great time. That, of course, is October 18th and 19th. Drop-off will begin on October the 4th. Drop-off can only be done at Grognard Games Batavia. You may not drop items off in Roselle or Algonquin and expect us to take them there. That will not happen. You have to do it at Grognard Games Batavia. And when you're dropping your items off, you will have to provide the list of your items, and all of your items must be tagged, and they must be done using the Grognard Games tags and labels. And all of that is available via via social media, and will of course be linked in our upcoming newsletter as well. You can find that over on Discord. You can find that on Facebook. I believe there's even a link on Instagram. You must print those out and use those. We will also have copies available in store for you to come by and grab a few if you need to, if you don't have access to a printer. But you have to use those tags. Any other kind of tagging, price tagging, or anything will not be accepted. If you have any other questions about the bazaar, of course, reach out, ask us. Documentation, of course, is available again via social media and on our Discord server. If you're not on our Discord server, get on our Discord server. That is the best way to keep up to date on all of the events and announcements going on at Grognard Games. And there will inevitably be some more announcements and changes coming in the next few months. Hopefully, once this year is over, we will be settled into a new groove and everything will be going along smoothly. But we just want to thank you all for being so awesome, patient, and understanding. Anytime there's change, we know that it can create some tension and frustration. We completely understand that. It happens internally as well as externally, but we're all navigating this together, and we really appreciate it. We are building a better, stronger, more vibrant Grognard Games and Grognard Games community, and it is all because of you and due to you. So we thank you so much for all of your support and patience and understanding. All right, that's enough of that. Let's just dive in. Let's see what Spider-Man has cooking for us. So let's go over here. We've got the Grognard Games mat, of course. You can purchase these fine mats done by the folks at Jank Mats at any of our Grognard Games locations. We love these mats. Big fans, of course, of Jank Mats. And here it is, Magic the Gathering Play Booster Box for Marvel's Spider-Man. You got Spidey right here on the cover. You might have been able to scope out behind me. I had a couple of Spideys hiding on the shelf behind me. I had the new Maximum Spider-Man from Hasbro's Marvel Legends line, as well as the Tokusatsu Spider-Man from the Japanese television show. One of my favorite Spider-Man figures of all time. That figure is amazing. If you can track one down, highly recommend it. All right, let's crack this open and let's see what these beautiful packs look like. Oh, look at there. There's Green Goblin waiting for us, giving us all the skinny on scan here to discover the coolest cards. And there we go with the draft archetypes. Pretty sweet right here. So take a look at that. Ooh. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. There's actually text there. You might want to read it. Anyway, and then here are our play booster packs with the good old web head on them right there. Funny story. Anyone who has probably spoken to me about Magic the Gathering in the store might have heard part of this story before. I purchased my very first pack of Magic in 1994 at Heroes Aren't Hard to Find in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I didn't know anything about the game. I think I'd read maybe something about it in Wizard Magazine or something, but I had no concept of how to play. Bought a pack, ended up buying a starter deck, and still had no concept how to play. Literally thought that when you tapped a card that you tapped on the card, that was supposed to signify something. So I imagine I'm not alone in that. Anyway, at that same time, around that same time, of course, Fox was getting ready to air a Spider-Man cartoon, and the Spider-Man cartoon was something that I watched pretty religiously. I loved that cartoon. I actually went back and did a little, not full rewatch, but rewatched most of the first season. And my son Jude, who loves Spider-Man, was thrilled with that. We also recently went to the Spider-Man exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry. Picked up this cool little pin while I was there. I got into the pin trading thing when I was down in Disney World recently, and thought that this would go well with some of the other pins that I have recently collected. So we have a lot of love for Spider-Man in this house. My son frequently goes to school wearing Spider-Man pants, Spider-Man shirts, Spider-Man socks, even Spider-Man undies. His Spider-Man shoes, unfortunately, don't fit him anymore. They were a little worn out, had some holes in them, so now he's rocking some Jurassic Park shoes, but I digress. Anyway, let's get right into it here. Open up our first pack of Spider-Man from Magic the Gathering. Now, of course, there are some big cards here that I know people are excited about. The Soul Stone, for instance, Anti-Venom, Gwenom. There's our treasure card. We got that University Campus Land, digging that. And then there we go with our Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist, which is a common foil, looking pretty cool there. And look at that already with a mythic, with Dr. Octopus, Master Planner, legendary creature, human scientist villain. He's 5, a blue and a black. Other villains you control get +2/+2. Your maximum hand size is 8. Makes sense, thematic. At the beginning of your end step, if you have fewer than 8 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Is a 4/8. Pretty cool, if you ask me. We got Sun Spider, Nimble Weber. Heroes Hang Out, with some nice art there of Miles and Gwen. Living Brain, Mechanical Marvel. Spider-Bot. Spider-Gwen, Free Spirit. This is the common Spider-Gwen. Legendary creature, Reach. Whenever Spider-Gwen becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Risky Research with some nice art there of Doc Ock. Liking that. Doc Ock's Henchman. This is a Doc Ock themed pack, clearly. Web Up. Very cool enchantment there. And a Spider Manifestation. Clearly going in with the kind of the spider myth that J. Michael Straczynski introduced into the comics about 20 years ago now. My gosh, more than that, I think. Starling Aerial Ally and Scorpion's Sting to round the pack out. I kind of went through that pack backwards. We'll fix that next time. Anyway, yeah, I've been a big fan of Spider-Man, ever since I was a kid, really. Marvel was not what I first got into. DC was where my heart was. Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash. But eventually, of course, Spider-Man, the X-Men came a-calling, and I was very much into that. So let's see here. How do we want to do this? Screw it. We'll just go backwards. So there's our treasure token with a spider on the back. We got a beautiful, shiny mountain here. Liking that a lot. And there we go with the Web Warriors, which is a nice foil. You got Spider Ham, India's Spider-Man, Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen. Looks like Spider Girl perhaps in the background. And then is that Ben Reilly? Hard to tell. I'm kind of at a weird angle to see some of the art in the background, but very cool. But nice card there. And then we've got Hydro Man, Fluid Felon. This is a super cool card. We were actually just talking about him in the store yesterday amongst the employees. Digging this one a lot. It's 2 blue for elemental villain. Whenever you cast a blue spell, if Hydro Man is a creature, he gets +1/+1 until end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, untap Hydro Man until your next turn. He becomes a land and gains tap. Add 1 blue. So very cool. It's a 2/2, but it's a good little card there. Scarlet Spider Kane. Of course, one of the members of the infamous Clone Saga of the 90s, which was really kind of at the height of my Spider-Man reading. I got in right around the time. I mean, it was probably the mid to late 80s when I was a kid, when I really sort of started getting into Spider-Man, which is a great time. Todd McFarlane is drawing Spider-Man. You're getting the introduction of Venom. You're having some cool arcs with Chameleon. You're having some other cool moments going on. The relationship between the now married Spider-Man and Mary Jane was also super cool. But things really, once you got to the Clone Saga, that's when things just got insane in so many ways. But Kane, of course, was a member of that whole saga. The Spider-Mobile, check it out. Loving that we're not, that this is a set that has fun with Spider-Man, the Spider-Man mythos. It's not just about gritty, dark, real life Spidey. Vulture, Scheming Scavenger. And then we got Shock with the shocker there in the image. Inner Demon Gangsters. If anyone has played the Sony's Spider-Man video game, these guys will definitely look familiar. Of course, they're also in the comics, but that game is just one of my favorite games of all time. Mysterio's Phantasm. We got Spider Islanders. Spider Island, of course, one of the big recent crossovers. A Gallant Citizen with J. Jonah Jameson's son there. His first name is escaping me for some reason. Of course, he was an astronaut. He came back. He was the Man-Wolf for a while. It's a whole thing. We've got Mob Lookout. Craven's Cats. Look at that. Cat villain. People like their cats. This card. For 2 and a green, this creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn, so it can become a 4/4. Not bad. And of course, you're building cat decks. That might be something you want to slot in there. Wild Pack Squad. Wild Pack, of course, Silver Sable's mercenary team. That'll be the last card of that pack. Moving right along here. Not going to read every single piece of text, obviously. Not going to dive too deep into every card, but I always like up front just to kind of get a feel for the set, get a feel for some of the cards. We got a robot. We got a food token, and then look at that. Another full art foil land, the plains. Really liking that a lot, actually. They've done a good job with this. Hobgoblin, Mantled Marauder. Hobgoblin is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. Big fan of that character. I just like the idea that they were able to kind of take this character that was, basically a pastiche of their already existing Green Goblin character who they didn't really want to use anymore because, they'd killed him off. But Hobgoblin came in and I think that they were able to really kind of play along play around with that persona and who was the Hobgoblin, who's behind the mask, who's under the mask. Of course, multiple people ended up being under the mask over the years, but yeah, cool character. Peter Parker's camera, love that. Looks like you got Green Goblin and Spidey in the lens there. Very cool piece of art, if you ask me. Let's see here. The Death of Gwen Stacy. Really cool saga card here. 1, destroy target creature. 2, each player may discard a card. Each player who doesn't loses 3 life. And 3, exile any number of target players' graveyards. Not a bad little saga there. Of course, this is a rare, so that's 2 rares in this pack. And then we got our some uncommons here. This is the Spot's Portal. Of course, the Spot was one of the main villains in the second Spider-Verse movie. Fantastic film. Spider-Girl, Legacy Hero. This is May Parker, or Mayday Parker, the daughter of Peter and Mary Jane from an alternate Earth across the multiverse. Raging Goblinoids. Loving that. Loving that. Definitely kind of an Ultimate Spider-Man vibe there. Spider-Bot. Angry Rabble. Very cool. Eerie Gravestone, loving that. I mean, Craven's Last Hunt, definitely given the nod in this piece of art. And what a super cool storyline. What a super cool piece of art. Another Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist. Pumpkin Bombardment, very nice. Spider Rex, daring Dino, also darling if you ask me. And then Scorpion's Sting. So this video, is going to be coming out on Friday the 19th, which of course is when pre-release for Spider-Man begins. Some of you will have already picked up your stuff by the time this video comes out. I wanted to have it out a little earlier, but needs must and all. Treasure token, human citizen token there. Sinister Hideout. Another Spider Rex, this time foiled. Very, very nice. We got Maximum Carnage. This is a very cool saga card. Until your next turn, each creature attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. So goad. Then 2, you add 3 red mana, and then 3. This saga deals 5 damage to each opponent. So this is going to be a fun one to see on the table. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Like these little group villains here. It's something that is essential to Spider-Man, right? Is the fact that he was facing groups of villains from a very early stage in his career. It wasn't necessarily just one-on-one fights. And then of course the cards have also in this day and age, it's like Spider-Man isn't just Spider-Man, right? He's got a whole Spider family, kind of similar to Batman these days. Tombstone, Career Criminal. School Days, nice piece of art, loving this. I mean, one of the things I think that has made Spider-Man such a unique character through the years, and certainly in the early days of the character, and then brought back with Ultimate Spider-Man and some of the other retellings of the characters, the fact that he started his heroic career when he was a teenager in high school. And I think that the way that the tension and the drama of that, the way that Stan Lee wrote that artists like Steve Ditko and John Romita used that to create even more tension in the stories, just made that character more enduring and endearing, in fact, as well. Hot Dog Cart, loving that. Shock, again. Common Crook, good one here. Passenger Ferry Artifact. Taxi Driver, Gallant Citizen again. News Helicopter. Craven's Cats once again. So definitely want to know what you guys are most looking forward to. I know that there's a lot of buzz over the pre-release. Anytime we do pre-releases, folks always come out. We're looking forward to getting this drafted as well. Human Citizen and a copy token. Of course, the meme is alive and well. We've got Ominous Asylum. This land enters tapped. Add a black or a red also for 4 mana. Tap it and surveil 1. Grow Extra Arms. Nice little piece of art there in the foil. Of course, another huge part of the Spider-Man mythos as he continued to become mutated by the irradiated spider that bit him. We got Jackal, Genius Scientist. Speaking of the clone saga, now here's the man responsible for it. Web Shooters, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has reach. And whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. Very, very nice. Green Goblin Revenant. That's some cool goblin art there, of course, with Osborn dangling the mask. Look at that. Beautiful Web Warriors card. Really digging that. Spider-Man UK. We got Mayday Parker. We got Spider-Girl or Spider-Woman. India Spider-Man. I mean, that is sweet. I like that a lot. Venom, Evil Unleashed, the first Venom that we've pulled. Venom, of course, Very popular. Oscorp Research Team, another Spider-Gwen free spirit. Swarm, Being of Bees. Guy in the Chair, Selfless Police Captain. Scout the City, and Skyward Spider. I have to remind myself not to geek out over every little piece here. I am by no means a Spider-Man encyclopedia, but I do, again, have an abiding love for the character, and I think that this set is exciting. It's not a set that I'm personally going all in on like we did with Final Fantasy, but definitely one that I love. I love that island art. That is very, very nice. Whoosh! Instant there. Looks like, is it? Yeah, it's Spider-Gwen and Vulture. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, of course, another of the clones of Peter Parker. For a time, it was thought that he was the real Peter Parker, actually, and not the clone. But yeah, super cool. Man, all right, I might be changing my mind here. Sun Spider, Nimble Webber, Spider-Man Heroic Horde, Heroes Hangout, Spider UK, very cool. Mechanical Mobster, Shock, Merciless Enforcers, Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist, Skyward Spider, Guy in the Chair, Spider-Man Web Slinger. Of course, we're getting lots of different versions of Spidey. There's different versions of Venom. We got Gwen, Miles Morales, all getting like multiple cards, multiple treatments. Another treasure token, and a human citizen. University campus once again. Kapow! Nice little common foil, liking that artwork a lot with Mysterio and Spidey. And then we got, Spider-Verse, a mythic enchantment. The legend rule doesn't apply to spiders you control. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may copy it. If you do, you may choose new targets for the copy. If the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste. Do this only once each turn. Nice card. 3 and 2 red there. Love the way it leans into the whole Spider-Verse mythos. The Prison Break, Rhino front and center. Spider-Girl, Legacy Hero once again. Spider Suit, Artifact Equipment. Got a Bagel and Schmear. That's the other thing. In addition to Spidey and his rotating cast of characters, the city of New York, of course, is a huge presence and character within the mythos of Spider-Man, and I love that we're leaning into that as well. Romantic Rendezvous, of course, looks like Mary Jane's getting ready to lean in for the upside down kiss. And we got the venomized cat. Oh boy. Unstable experiment. Norman Osborn, of course, getting ready to transform himself. Subway train. Daily Bugle reporters. Liking that one too. Pumpkin bombardment. Spectacular tactics. Of course, Spidey, of course, had the amazing Spider-Man branching out from Amazing Fantasy where he debuted. Then, of course, we also had Spectacular Spider-Man, The Web of Spider-Man, just Spider-Man. There have been a lot of Spider-Man titles over the years. We got the spider. And then we got that full art swamp. Not foil this time, though. We got a foil, Scorpion Sting, and a mythic Norman Osborn. This is definitely one of the cards that folks were, I think, looking for here. Norman Osborn can't be blocked. Whenever Norman Osborn deals combat damage to a player, he connives. Draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And for 1, a blue, a black, and a red, transform Norman Osborn, activate only as a sorcery. And of course, once he transforms, he becomes Green Goblin. With Flying and Menace, spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. Goblin formula, each non-land card in your graveyard has Mayhem. The Mayhem cost is equal to its mana cost. So yeah, this is definitely one of the chase cards for the play booster boxes. People definitely looking forward to getting this in their hands. I know that the borderless extended art version, for instance, is already hitting double digits. This one probably not so much, but will certainly be a card that people are going to want to add to their list. So there's the mythic Norman Osborn. Sudden Strike with Silk and Black Cat in the art. Ezekiel Sims, Spider Totem. Of course, I mentioned earlier that J. Michael Straczynski, the myth of Spider-Man and everything. This is a character from that arc. Shriek, Troublemaker, Bagel and Schmear again. Venom's Hunger, I Want to Eat Your Brains. Beetle, Legacy Criminal, Romantic Rendezvous again. Inner Demon Gangsters once again. Scout the City, Thwip, the famous sound that Spider-Man's webs apparently makes. Spider-Man, Brooklyn Visionary. There's Miles Morales as Spidey. Digging that art. Definitely a nice homage to not only the animated movie, but just kind of the direction that Miles Morales' character has been taken in general. Miles, of course, debuted in the Ultimate Spider-Man, and what a wonderful character. Just a fantastic character. They've utilized him so well. Hopefully we get to see him in live action at some point in the near future. All right, we got another treasure token and a spider token, University Campus, and Angry Rabble foil card. And now we got Radioactive Spider. Radioactive. Anyway, this is, of course, responsible for the whole thing, right? Creature, Spider, Reach, Death Touch, Fateful Bite. For 2 mana, sacrifice this creature. Search your library for a Spider Hero card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. Nice. Great. Morbius, the Living Vampire. I'm just going to say it. I can't help it. I'm just going to say it. We've joked around at the store about how just awful this card is, and about how fitting it is that a card for Morbius, who had such an awful film, indeed has a pretty awful card. Now, some of you may disagree. Please feel free to let us know in the comments. But yeah, we're not too high on this card. Although the art is cool, and I do enjoy the character, and I wish that he got a little bit more love. Spider Slayer. Hatred honed. Very cool. Kraven, Proud Hunter. Kraven, of course, is one of the coolest characters from the comics in a lot of ways. Although in Ultimate Comics, he was made into a little bit of a tool at first, which was actually a great way in for the character in a lot of ways. But the original Kraven was always handled well, responsible for one of the greatest Spider-Man stories of all time, Kraven's Last Hunt, and in a horrible movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Unstable Experiments. Romantic Rendezvous, Merciless Enforcers, Doc Ock's Henchmen, Lurking Lizards, City Pigeon. Oh, look at that little pigeon. And a subway train. Oh, and Spider-Man Web-Slinger. So this set, of course, is a little smaller than Final Fantasy, for instance. And certainly one wonders if out of a play booster box you'll be able to put together play sets of a great deal of the cards in there. Of course, with mythics and rares perhaps aside. Ominous Asylum, Flash Thompson, Spider-Fan. Flash, such an interesting character over the years, and of course ended up becoming, ooh, check it out, a mythic full art Gwen Stacy. Really digging this. That's awesome. Legendary creature, human performer hero. When Gwen Stacy enters exile, the top card of your library, you may play that card for as long as you control this creature. For 2, a blue, a red, and a white, transform Gwen Stacy. Activate only as a sorcery. And let's take a look at Ghost Spider. My daughter loves Ghost Spider. That's how she's going as Halloween. She's got Flying, Vigilance, Haste. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Ghost Spider. Remove 2 counters from Ghost Spider. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Not bad, Ghost Spider, not bad. Ooh, there's Sandman, Shifting Scoundrel. Sandman's power and toughness are equal, each equal to the number of lands you control. Sandman can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. For 3 and 2 green, return this card and target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Nice. Web Warriors, once again, Green Goblin Revenant, and the Daily Bugle Building. Very cool, loving that. Mechanical Mobster, Amazing Acrobatics, Stegron, the Dinosaur Man, Eerie Gravestone again, Skyward Spider, Spider Rex, Daring Dino, Lurking Lizards. As you can see, for a lot of these commons and some of these uncommons, we already have 3, almost a full play set. We're getting through this box slowly but surely. So again, I think getting play sets of commons and uncommons will not be too difficult if you pick up a play box. And a robot and food. We got a beautiful full art mountain there. And we got the hot dog cart, which is appropriate because the food there. Oh, look at that. I'm loving that we're hitting on so many of these full arts already. This is really, really nice. Silk Web Weaver, legendary creature, spider human hero, web slinging for 1 green and a white. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human citizen creature token. And for 3 a green and a white creatures you control, get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Not bad, Silk, not bad. And then we got Oscorp Industries, another land here. Sandman's Quicksand, Chameleon, Master of Disguise. Chameleon is kind of one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, oddly enough. I just think that there's something very chilling about the character. And if you know anything about the background of Peter Parker's parents and that sort of stuff, Chameleon, of course, had a little bit of a part to play in their demise as well, with all the espionage and international intrigue involved therein. Although some people just prefer, that it was an accident. But the comics have told many tales about that. Damage Control Crew. Stegron the Dinosaur Man, Venomized Cat, Beetle Legacy Criminal, Electro's Bolt, Daily Bugle Reporters, Spider Rex, Daring Dino, and Thwip. I just want to call that little dino a darling because he is. He's just a darling little dino. Why not? I have some sleeves here. I should have slipped some of those mythics into it, but I'll do that after the fact. Again, this is the store's box, not mine, so anything that you see here will be in the store later. Human, Citizen, and Copy, University Campus Foil, and Rhino Barreling Brute. Very nice foil there. And Iron Spider Stark Upgrade. Very, very cool. The Clone Saga, there it is. The much aforementioned, much maligned Clone Saga, although I think people have got a new appreciation of it these days. Big fan of Saga cards in general, and that one's pretty cool. Daily Bugle Building, Tombstone Career Criminal, Spider piloted by Penny. Nice art, cool character, like that. Spider Bot, Masked Meower, Inner Demon Gangsters, Doc Ock's Henchman, Spider Manifestation, Thwip, and a Vibrant Cityscape. Nice little land there. I'm digging that. Nice. New York, New York. I do love New York. I used to live near New York. I used to go frequently. I didn't go for the first time until I was like 15, actually. Being a theater kid and an actor, New York was kind of the mecca. So I went to a theater trip when I was 15, and then got the chance to go numerous times over the next 4 or 5 years. But I haven't been in a while. It's been a minute, unfortunately. But I love Chicago, so the second city is definitely home. Has been for a long time. Human Citizen, Sinister Hideout is our land. Our foil card is Unstable Experiment. Woo! Then we got Symbiote Spider-Man. Very cool. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Find a new host for 2 and a black or a blue. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains cards' other abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. Robotics Mastery. Rhinos a Rampage. Aunt May. There you are, Aunt May. They struck a nice balance here between the elderly Aunt May that we traditionally saw in the comics and kind of the younger Aunt May that's been presented to us in a lot of other forms of media recently with that art. I think she looks looks good. Anyway, Spider-Gwen, Free Spirit. Swarm, Being of Bees. Passenger Fairy. Steel Wrecking Ball. Web Up. Professional Wrestler. Very, very nice. And then we've got Wild Pack Squad and Grow Extra Arms. What's your favorite Spider-Man storyline? Can be within the comics, film, television, whatever. Would love to hear that. Your favorite form of Spider-Man. How were you introduced to Spider-Man? Let us know in the comments below. Human Citizen and Copy. Nice little forest there. Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary is our foil card. That one really pops with that art. Love it. Love it. Miles getting some respect. And then we got Carnage, Crimson Chaos. Loving that. He is 2, a black and a red, legendary creature, symbiote villain. Trample. When Carnage enters, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains this creature attacks each combat if able. And when this creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. Mayhem for black and a red. It's a 4/3. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Spider piloted by Penny. Pictures of Spider-Man. That's a cool card. Really liking that art, reminiscent of some of the Alex Ross stuff from Marvels. Really liking that one a lot. Taxi Driver, Venom's Hunger, Whoosh, Angry Rabble, Professional Wrestler, Scorpion's Sting, Spider Manifestation, and Spectacular Tactics. Between Whoosh and Thwip, we're getting some nice onomatopoeic cards here. Of course, that is a huge part of the tradition of comic books to help create those sound effects. All right, what are we going to have here? A Spider and an Illusion Villain token, Suburban Sanctuary. Nice. And for our foil, we got Morbius Living Vampire. Oh, Morbius. Bioorganic Carapace. Very nice, very nice. Oh, look at that. Comeuppance. That is some great art. Really liking that. Man, these full art cards are just awesome. Just awesome. All right, and that is a mythic, by the way. 0001 in the set. Comeuppance. For 3 and a white, instant. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control this turn by sources you don't control. If damage from a creature source is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to that creature. If damage from a non-creature source is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to the source's controller. Very good card. All right, got the costume closet. That's very cool. And then we got the Scarlet Spider Kane once again. Spider-Man, Heroic Horde, Oscorp Research Team, Masked Meower, Swarm, Being of Bees, Doc Ock's Henchman, Selfless Police Captain. Of course, that's Captain Stacy there. Gwen's daddy, a Professional Wrestler again, and Spider-Man Web-Slinger. That comeuppance card, that's pretty sweet. And we also got that Green Goblin, so get some nice pulls from this booster box for sure. We got a treasure and human citizen. Sinister Hideout. Very, very nice there. Foil card. And we got a Professional Wrestler foil. And we got Arachne Psionic Weaver. Legendary creature, Spider Human Hero, Web-Slinging for 1 white. And as Arachne enters, look at an opponent's hand, then choose a card, a type other than creature. Spells of the chosen type cost 1 more to cost. Pictures of Spider-Man, Molten Man, Inferno Incarnate. This is a nice one too. When Molten Man enters, search your library for a basic mountain card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Molten Man gets +1/+1 for each mountain you control. When Molten Man leaves the battlefield, sacrifice a land. Prowler, Clawed Thief, Spider-Bot, Taxi Driver, Venom, Evil Unleashed, Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist, Kapow, Mob Lookout, Thwip, and Scout the City. Gotta say, there's nothing like opening some packs, seeing some cool cards come out, cool cards from a property that you love so much. It's nice. Treasure Spider, Savage Mansion. Our foil is Sudden Strike. And we got Ultimate Green Goblin. Very, very cool. Shriek, Troublemaker, Sudden Strike again. Madame Web, Clairvoyant. Madame Web was a cool character, in particular in the cartoons. That was when I really became introduced to the character. She'd not been utilized that much during, kind of that late 80s, early 90s period. Now she's been around quite a bit more. But I became familiar with her from that Fox Spider-Man cartoon. Hot Dog Cart, Common Crook, Mysterious Phantasm, Steel Wrecking Ball, Eerie Gravestone, Kapow, Vibrant Cityscape, and Larkin Lizards. As you can see, we've already completed a few play sets here, some commons, close to it on some uncommons. Not going to be hard to do if that's what you're looking to do. Putting together a master set, a box and buying some singles, probably the way to go. Maybe get a collector booster box or collector booster or two if you want to get some fancy treatments. Plains full art. And then we got a Mary Jane Watson foil card. That's the first Mary Jane that we've seen. When a spider you control enters, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then we got Spinneret and Spiderling. Wow, that's actually funny because, of course, Spinneret is Mary Jane. So a legendary creature, Spider Human Hero. Whenever you attack with 2 or more spiders, put a +1/+1 counter on Spinneret and Spiderling. Whenever Spinneret and Spiderling deals 4 or more damage, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Not bad, especially for 1 red. Aranya, Heart of the Spider. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on each on target attacking creature. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. One of the other things that's happened in Spider-Man recently too is that the character has gotten just more international, and really that all started with the Japanese Spider-Man that I mentioned earlier. That was kind of the first international version of the character. But these days, you have Spider-Men or women from across the globe, which is a really cool addition to the character, and I think gives the character a wider appeal and allows folks to really kind of identify with the character in different ways. So really, really dig that. Then Molten Man, Web Shooters, Prowler, Clawed Thief, Spider-Man No More, iconic piece of artwork there, or takeoff on the iconic piece of art. But the original by John Romita is that's one of the most iconic pieces of art of all time, frankly, as far as I'm concerned. It pertains to comic books. Venom's Hunger, Amazing Acrobatics, Taxi Driver, and City Pigeon, and Kapow, and a news helicopter. And the other thing that's really cool too is that with that international idea of Spider-Man is that these are different characters, right? It's not just Peter Parker transplanted to a different location or whatever, but each one has their own unique identity, which is just really cool, and I think adds to the appeal of the overall mythos of the character in general. Treasure Spider full art forest. We got a foil taxi driver, and then we got a with great power card. Enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each aura and enchantment attached to it. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to enchanted creature instead. There you have it. Spider Bite, Web Warden. Wisecrack, Spider-Man India. There we go with the international Spider-Man. Yeah, definitely one of the more visible Spider-Man of recent years. Hot Dog Cart, Angry Rabble, Venomized Cat, Unstable Experiment, Vibrant Cityscape, Pumpkin Bombardment, Starling Aerial Ally, Electro's Bolt will finish us off. We are getting through this box here. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining. Obviously, sometimes we do these pack openings. I just do a bundle, so we get through it really, really quickly. We decided to do a whole play booster box, mainly because bundles were a little bit of a hotter commodity. And we didn't want to take any product away from folks that might want them. So we wanted to make sure that we were giving these back, obviously, too, because you'll be able to pick these up in Store Swamp. We got a Pumpkin Bombardment foil, and then we got the Villainous Wrath rare here. Target opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, then destroy all creatures. Rent is due. Once again, the real world problems, real world life of Peter Parker has made the character so endearing and enduring over the years. The fact that he has to deal with the same issues that we do has just made him so much easier to connect with. All right, and then we got Spider-Man Noir. Nice. Nick Cage. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Green Goblin Revenant, School Days, Passenger Ferry, Romantic Rendezvous, Risky Research, Web Up, News Helicopter, Grow Extra Arms, Starling Aerial Ally. And if you're a kitty in the background, it's because my cat is down here. The door might have gotten closed on her, and she's saying, let me out, let me out. Not yet, cat. I'm finishing this box opening. Treasure. Human Citizen, another full art mountain. Loving that. We got a Spider UK foil card. That's pretty. I like that. And then we have a rocket-powered Goblin Glider. I know this is another card that folks are interested in getting their hands on. When this equipment enters, if it was cast from your graveyard, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has flying and haste. Cost 2 to equip, Mayhem 2 as well, and it is a 3-cost card. Scorpion, Seething Striker. Spider-Man India, once again. Living Brain, Mechanical Marvel, Hot Dog Cart, Common Crook, Whoosh, Masked Meower, Merciless Enforcers, Gallant Citizen, and Pumpkin Bombardment, and last of all, a Starling Aerial Ally. I think we've seen about 5 or 6 of those. All right, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Thank you all for sticking around if you're still here in this part of the video. It's been fun kind of talking about Spider-Man, sharing some Spider-Man factoids here and there. Suburban Sanctuary, just my own personal memories. Ooh, nice foil. Peter Parker's camera. Again, the lens. We got Spidey and Gobby in there. And then we've got Interdimensional Web Watch. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Wisecrack, Spider-Bite Web Warden, Supportive Parents, Spider-Man No More, Oscorp Research Team, Spider Islanders, Swarm, Being Bees, Cravens, Cats, City Pigeon, Spider-Man Brooklyn, Visionary, and Electro's Bolt. I think probably it's hard for me to say what my favorite Spider-Man movie is or my favorite Spider-Man piece of non-comic book media is. We had this conversation in the store yesterday as it pertains to Star Wars. It's always hard to kind of compare films and television. Television obviously gets a more breadth to tell a story in, and certainly with the serialized nature of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, I felt like they did such a wonderful job telling bigger stories. I love the Tom Holland films. I think Homecoming is really wonderful. Far From Home is fantastic as well. I think the nice thing about those films is while they are deeply connected, of course, to the MCU, they can also stand on their own pretty easily, which is fantastic. So it's hard for me to pick one. Of course, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, I very much enjoyed as well, especially at that time. We had never really seen anything quite like it. So, Andrew Garfield movies, they're fine, but they just, I don't know. They to me, they get lost in the shuffle. And that's unfair because Andrew Garfield is fantastic. But anyway, Savage Mansion, Risky Research, Gwenum Remorseless, another one of the big cards from the set. This is a mythic. It is a legendary creature symbiote spider hero for 3 and 2 black. Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever Gwenum attacks until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play cards from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. Gwenum is a great card. Another Morbius. All right. Damage Control Crew, Raging Goblinoids, Mechanical Mobster, Beetle, a Legacy Criminal, Angry Rabble, Risky Research, Craven's Cats, Vibrant Cityscape, and Spider Rex, Daring Dino, followed by a Scorpion's Sting. All right, so we've hit a couple of the big ones so far. If we can get a Soul Stone maybe out of here, or a Anti-Venom, then I will say that this box has been thoroughly worth it. It's been thoroughly worth it even if we don't. Treasure, Human Citizen, a nice full art island. We got Hydro Man. Look at that, nice rare foil, loving it. And then we got a Silk Web Weaver, once again, look at that. We got Wraith, Vicious Vigilante, the Spider Suit, Prison Break, Bagel and Schmear, Spider Islanders, Merciless Enforcers, Whoosh, City Pigeon, Grow Extra Arms, a News Helicopter, Spider Manifestation. I haven't gotten the chance to play much Magic lately, unfortunately, just in virtue of my busy schedule. But I get to think about Magic a lot. I get to talk about Magic a lot, which is fun. So at least there's that. But hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to come out a little bit more. Human Citizen, definitely want to try to get down on an Avatar pre-release. Planes, Mob Lookout foil, and Superior Spider-Man. What a great storyline. Just a great storyline. Dan Slott, one of the finest modern Spidey writers, without a doubt. Certainly kind of picked up the, where, not specifically where continuity-wise, storyline-wise, where somebody like Brian Michael Bendis left off and just carried that Spider-Man torch with some great aplomb, great stories, great plotting, and of course the Superior Spider-Man arc, one of the finest. Don't want to say too much about it if you're completely unfamiliar with it, but you should check it out. It's really, really, really interesting, really well done. This is a rare card, legendary creature, Spider Human Hero for 2, a blue and a black. Mind Swap. You may have Superior Spider-Man enter as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard except his name is Superior Spider-Man, and he's a 4/4 Spider Human Hero, in addition to his other types. When you do, exile that card. Silver Sable, first time we've seen her. Cool character, always liked her. Rhino Barreling Brute, Secret Identity, Beetle Legacy Criminal, Stegron the Dinosaur Man, Venom Evil Unleashed, Amazing Acrobatics, Gallant Citizen, Mob Lookout, Selfless Police Captain, and Scout the City. All right, we're getting down to it. One thing I don't have in my camera frame is I have the Mezco Classic Spider-Man and Green Goblin, and those figures are so cool and just a wonderful homage to the 60s Spider-Man era. Savage Mansion, Foil Passenger Ferry, and J. Jonah Jameson. When J. Jonah Jameson enters, suspect up to 1 target creature. A suspected creature has menace and can't block. Whenever a creature you control with menace attacks, create a treasure token. Alien Symbiosis, very, very cool. Nice little enchantment aura there. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has menace, and is a symbiote in addition to its other types. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. Flying Octobot, terrific team up. Very, very cool art there. Reminiscent of the Spider-Man 2 video game. Spider-Man No More Again, Steel Wrecking Ball, Risky Research, Passenger Ferry, Web Up, Guy in the Chair, Spectacular Tactics, and Subway Train. So we're still pulling some cards we haven't seen before, and not just rares or mythics, but a couple of uncommons that we hadn't seen yet, which is nice. So there's the set's definitely deeper, but we did get like I said, a lot of certain cards, and we have more than a play set worth of certain commons already. Spider and Illusionary Villain, Suburban Sanctuary, Spectacular Tactics, Doc Ock's Tentacles, another cool little card here. Cost of 1 mana and artifact equipment. Whenever a creature you control with mana value 5 or greater enters, you may attach this equipment to it. Equipped creature gets +4/+4. Otherwise, it costs 5 to equip. Shocker, Unshakable, Costume Closet, Alien Symbiosis once again. Mysterious Phantasm. Shock. We also got Shocker in this pack. Eerie Gravestone. Unstable Experiment. Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary. Lurking Lizards. Skyward Spider. And a guy in the chair. What up? All right. Keep going here. Down to our last 3 packs. What do you think we find? Will we get that anti-venom? Will we get a soul stone? Let's see what happens here. All right, we got our treasure and our human citizen token. We got a foil, swamp, which is nice. Our foil card is a subway train. And we got a Miles Morales mythic. Check that out. Sweet. So we've pulled a Miles and a Gwen. No Peter Parker Spider-Man mythic yet, though. When Miles Morales enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. For 3 red, a green, and a white, transform Miles Morales. Activate only as a sorcery. And of course, once he transforms, he becomes a 4/3 Spider-Human hero with first strike and haste. Camouflage for 2. Put a +1/+1 counter on Ultimate Spider-Man. He gains hexproof and becomes colorless until end of turn. Whenever you attack, double the number of each kind of counter on each spider and legendary creature you control. Not bad. Not bad. Another Chameleon. Prison Break. Wall Crawl. Spider-Bot. Stegron the Dinosaur Man. Inner Demons Gangsters. Oscorp Research Team. Steel Wrecking Ball. Selfless Police Captain. Wild Pack Squad. And a Grow Extra Arms. We got 2 packs left. I don't know if I'm feeling another mythic or not. But I'll tell you what, if we could get a Soul Stone or an Anti-Venom, I think that would be pretty sweet. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Let's see what we got. We got a robot. We got a foil mountain, foil lurking lizards, the spot living portal. Very cool. We got a bioorganic carapace and a spider piloted by Penny. Full art. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. We got Superior Foes of Spider-Man, Tombstone Career Criminal, Bagel and Schmear, Spider-Gwen Free Spirit, Venom's Hunger, Doc Ock Sinister Scientist, Spider-Man Web-Slinger, Electro's Bolt, Mob Lookout. And we got one last pack. Will there be any last pack magic? Will there be? Let's open it with the notch. I haven't done that this whole time. Let's just do it. Let's do it that way. Let's see what happens. Should we go from the back to the front? All right, let's go from the back to the front. Here we go. You ready? We're going to do it this way. Spider-Man, Brooklyn Visionary, Daily Bugle Reporters, Kapow, Wild Pack Squad, Amazing Acrobatics, Common Crook, Masked Meower, Madam Web Clairvoyant, Rhino's Rampage, Flash Thompson, Spider Fan. Ooh, Strength of Will. Oh, we did it. We got one of them anyway. Check it out. There's our mythic, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Oh, that is so cool. So we got, from this box, we got the mythic Amazing Spider-Man, the mythic Ultimate Spider-Man, and the mythic Ghost Spider. I will take that trio any day. That is pretty sweet, even if we did not get a Soul Stone or an Anti-Venom. And a Bagel and a Schmear foil. And our land is a Sinister Hideout. Not bad, gang. Not bad at all. I can't complain. Some very cool cards there that you will be seeing soon at grognardgames.com. You can pick those singles up shortly if you so desire. This has been a lot of fun. I always love getting to do these pack openings. Again, I haven't been able to play a lot of Magic lately. Lorcana has definitely been my main focus for a while now. But as you all know, I got super excited about Final Fantasy. I bought a lot of Final Fantasy. Like a lot. But I did sell some of it. So if you've picked up any VVs recently, for some reason, I just attracted VVs. I don't know. I please don't at me, bro. It just happened. I opened a lot of VVs and I had like 5 of them. And I was like, I don't need 5 VVs. I don't play standard. I just want to keep one for myself. So I kept my showcase foil and the rest of them went to Roselle and they're all gone now. So if you bought one of them, awesome. But anyway, I hope that folks are stoked for Spider-Man. Again, I love the character. I love the characters in Mythos. I love the history of the character. Spider-Man is definitely one of my passions when it comes to comic book characters. You can see the Maximum Spider right there. You can see the Tokusatsu Toho version of Spidey right there as well. Got some Gunpla up there. Got a little Got a little Nightmare Before Christmas going on. Some Doctor Who, Transformers. Those are the Naruto Transformers, actually. Yeah. I got the black and white Usagi Yojimbo over there. There's my Avatar Blu-ray box set as well. I'm probably going to spend a lot of money on Avatar. Anyway. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you all for being a part of Grognard Games. We could not do this without you. We want to see you out at the stores. We want to see you playing in some of the events. We got leagues. We got a Kill Team League starting up soon. We've got a Halo tournament over in Batavia soon that should be a lot of fun. It's a headhunter tournament. For every headshot you get, you're entered into a raffle to win wondrous prizes and gifts. Of course, any of these events, we always try to provide prize support, whether it's store credit or something more, whether it's something that has official prize support, like, of course, Wizards of the Coast with Magic the Gathering. Lots of really, really cool OP prizes for Spider-Man, including, there's a comic book. There's a comic book, guys. Come on. So there's lots of really great stuff that WotC has supplied us with that will be going to you, directly to you. We're not selling it. We're not keeping it for ourselves. We're not flipping it. We're not doing any of that sort of stuff. We don't do that. We're not going to do that. It's not our style. We are right now, exploring our options for prize support in Algonquin, because we don't yet have the official prize support through them. We should have lots of cool stuff available, obviously, and the hope is that we will get it soon enough. So if you have any questions about that, just let folks know up in Algonquin. But in the meantime, I'm going to get out of here. We've been going for about an hour. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for supporting Grognard Games. Remember, always take care of yourselves, take care of one another, stay safe out there, and perhaps even more appropriately so, because with great power comes great responsibility. Always roll responsibly.